Summer in a step family isn't like summer anywhere else. The routines that usually hold things together disappear. The kids are around more, the ex is more present in your plans, even when she's not in the room. And somewhere in the middle of all of that, you're supposed to be enjoying yourself. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Stepmum Space Listener Questions with me, Katie South, where each week I take one of your questions and talk it through here, not just to reassure you, but to help you understand what might actually be going on underneath. Names are anonymized, but the feelings are very real. Now, this week's question came from Rachel on Instagram. She says, I'm absolutely dreading the summer holidays. More time with the kids, lack of routine. They'll turn their noses up at the food when we go away, and my partner will turn into full-on Disney dad on holiday. How the hell do I stay sane? I imagine there's a lot of you smiling away to that because it's probably a thought that's crossed many a stepmom's mind. So Rachel, thank you so much for asking it. And I want to say first that this question will land with a lot of people because what Rachel's described isn't just one thing, it's 4 things all coming at once. And that's exactly why summer feels so heavy before it's even started. So let's take them one thing at a time. More time with the kids and the loss of routine. Now, these 2 things are connected and they matter more than they might sound. Routine isn't just about logistics. For stepmoms especially, structure is what often creates a sense of predictability in a situation that is, by design, quite unpredictable. So when that goes, when the school week disappears and the regular schedule goes with it, suddenly the admin doubles, the stress doubles, and the days blur into each other. That loss isn't just practical, it's the thing that was giving you some ground to stand on, and it's been taken away. So this isn't about you being difficult, it's a really understandable response to a disorientating shift. The food piece. And I want to name this really clearly because it sounds small, but it really isn't. Meal times are such a pinch point for step families. And when you've thought about the holiday, planned for it, probably done most of the organising, and then a child turns their nose up at the meal in a restaurant that you've chosen, the reaction isn't really about the food. It's about the effort going unacknowledged again. It's that effort asymmetry that so many women describe. You're considering every detail and none of that consideration is visible to anyone else in the room. That's a real and very exhausting thing to carry. And then there's our friend Disney Dad. That Disney Dad dynamic on holiday, it really ramps up, doesn't it? I think this can quietly unravel a whole trip if it's not named in advance. So what tends to happen with a lot of dads is this. He's been away from his kids. He feels guilty about that, about the divorce or separation, about the time they've lost, about not being the dad he imagined he'd be. And so when they're together, especially on holiday, he tries to compensate. Everything becomes yes. Boundaries soften. The version of him that you have a relationship with, the one who's supposed to be your partner, in your corner, a consistent presence, he gets replaced by someone who's managing his own guilt at everyone else's expense, including yours. Now, it doesn't come from a bad place, but good intentions do not make it easier for you to live with. So what actually helps? The honest answer is that most of what makes a summer survivable for stepmoms gets sorted out before it starts, not during it. So a conversation with your partner before you go, not in the moment when a child's refusing dinner and he's letting it slide. A conversation before you go is worth 10 conversations on the holiday. Be specific with him. We're not saying, I need you to back me up in general, but we're saying, when the kids are rude about food, I need you to say something. Specific, practical, agreed in advance. It also helps to be honest with yourself about what you're actually dreading. Anxiety thrives in vagueness. And when everything feels like one large, shapeless threat, it's overwhelming. When you can name the 5 specific things that you're actually worried about, some of them will turn out to be things you can do something about. and some won't. So you've got to separate those two things so you can start to get some ground back. Okay, there's also something worth us saying about the kids being around more. So more time together isn't automatically better or worse. It depends on what you're walking into it with. If you arrive at 6-week summer holidays with no plan for yourself, no time carved out, no thought given to what you need to feel okay, it's going to grind you down. If you've thought about it in advance, even in small practical ways, it's going to land differently. You don't have to love every single minute of it, okay? And you're not failing if you're a bit relieved when it ends. If what I've just described sounds like something you want to actually sit with and work through before the holidays start, I've made something specifically for this. It's called Summer Sorted, and it's a reflective planning worksheet for stepmums navigating exactly this. It walks you through your emotional hotspots, helps you separate what's yours to act on and what isn't, and gives you something to come back when things get wobbly mid-August. It's at stepmumspace.com in the resources section, and I'll pop the link in the show notes. There's also something else in there which is for you to work on with your partner to help you both prepare for the holidays and both align on the key things that are going to be important. So, Rachel, thank you so much for your question. I know this would have helped a lot of people because I have had a lot of DMs about summer recently. And I hope that there's been something in here that you can take away to make your summer a little bit easier. I'll be back soon with another listener question. Till then, take care. Just quickly, if you're listening to this and thinking, this is exactly what happens with us, where something from the other house ends up sitting between you and your partner, and you keep having the same conversations, but nothing really shifts, this is one of the most common patterns I see in step families. And it's not just about communication, it's about what's happening structurally in the relationship. This is exactly the kind of thing I work through with couples. So if you want support with that, not just talking about it, but actually changing the pattern, you can find everything you need on my website, or you can drop me an email, katie@stepmumspace.com, to find out more about couples coaching.